this video, we're going to be going over the video game price charts update grid feature being added in version 25.8.1 later this month. So if we go here to the software, we're just going to go to the databases and then video game price chart section. What this feature is going to do is allow us to easily compare our pricing to that of video game price charts, and then we will see what our pricing is compared to theirs, how it compares across the different feeds that video game price charts offers, and what we want to price it at. So there's a couple of ways to get to this, but one of the easier ones is you're going through the video game price charts update process, and at the end, instead of doing your normal update the full store database, you can simply hit view update grid. Now the data in here right now is a test data file from video game price charts that also adds the new market-based feed. So it only has Game Boy Advance games in it, so it's not going to have as much as a normal one would, but it's plenty for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to maximize this here for your convenience. And as you can see here, we've got quite a lot going on, but we can actually control this to some degree with these checkboxes down at the bottom. For example, right now we're not showing everything we could be because we're not showing the stock information, and it will retain these settings if you leave and go back in. If I check this to show stock, it's going to show my stock quantity, and if I were to exit, come back in later, it's going to keep that. So the fields that show are going to be item ID and name. You'll notice these are in a different color. That's because they are actually set to not scroll away if you scroll to the right. So it'll always show what the item ID you're looking at is. These cannot be removed, neither can department and category. These are the department and category within your system, not the department and category in video game price charts. So if you've changed the category specifically, then it's going to show what you've got it as. Stock quantity is just how many you have in stock. You can see that for both new and used. And then we get to the pricing data, which is a little more interesting. So current columns, so current new, current used, current used to, current trade, all of those are your price in your inventory right now. And we can turn those off here with this checkbox for show current prices, or if show new prices were turned off, for example, all of the new pricing would disappear. So both show new pricing and show current prices have to be checked for current new to show, for instance, and all of these pricing columns are controlled by two of these checkboxes. So current new is your in inventory new price for the item. VGPC new, that is the VGPC retailer suggested pricing. That's the base feed. It is what they suggest selling something for as a retailer. Alt retailer, that is related to a major company's pricing that they sell games at. They do not have that for certain older consoles, such as, in this case, the Game Boy Advance, which is why all of the prices for the alt retailer on this are 0. So those are the 3 feeds that are available, or 2 feeds plus your current pricing that are available for new items. For used items, you have 4. So you've got, the current, the VGPC one, the alt retailer, but you also have the online marketplace one. That is a price that is derived from eBay and Amazon. That's actually the price you will see listed if you just were to go to Video Game Price Charts website and look at the price. That is the market price. Used is their complete one. Used 2 is their loose one. They don't offer trade values on that, but you could do a percentage based thing outside of this if you wanted to do that. So you get that for used or for used 2. The alt retailer only offers used. They do not offer a used 2 price. For trades, there is not, as I mentioned, a market trade value, but there is an alt retailer trade. And then for everything other than just trade 1, you would just have the VGPC pricing. So if we want to actually update some of these items, we can select, and you can select multiple rows either by dragging on here or by using the control key to just select multiple. So if I hold down control as I click, it will toggle selecting, or you can re-click it to unselect, as you can see. And then if I hit update selected, we're going to see that we get a number of options for how we update. Number one, print labels for updates. If that is checked, it's going to put the labels into the queue to print through the label utility. So then updating new, updating used, updating trade from the price, it will let you select whether you're updating that field at all or leaving it alone, and then whether you are updating it from which particular feed. So you'll notice that the market feed is only available for used because it is only, it's only got data for used. But the other two are available for trade or for new. So because you can kind of pick this, it will default to whatever your settings are in the system for when you do a mass update. But the selection that you make here can change. You can do, so you could do this way if you want to, for example, use different feeds for different categories. Now, when we hit OK here, if I uncheck new, we'll just leave a use. So we'll say we're going to update this from the market feed. So if we look at, for example, just behind here, Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures, we can see that the current used is $195 and the market used is $13.50. And the current used to is $11.99 and the market used to is $4. So, our pricing's all over the place compared to that. So we'll uncheck trade, uncheck new, and just hit OK on that. It's going to update all of those items and then refresh. And we will see that Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures, the current used price now matches the market used, but the trade, they were untouched. Same for all of the ones we just had selected. And then one other thing I want to mention here is that the filter is at the bottom. You can select just a particular category and filter to it. So that's a way you can just see the things you're looking for. If we go out of here, the other place you can view this grid from, besides just the database updater, is if you go to the More menu here and then Management and then VGPC Price Grid. And then if you're a cloud user, you'll also be able to see it from the Browse VGPC screen. There will be a link there to take you to the back office version of this. So this can be useful for doing a little bit more, fine-tuned updates rather than doing it across the board. Because of course, if you want to just match, the whole database, that is a tool that still exists. That's not going away. This is just another way to do things where you can see the pricing and, see it kind of on a more, category by category basis rather than just looking at either an individual item or doing the entire database. If you have any questions about this feature, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions regarding it. Otherwise, we hope that you'll appreciate it.